Well, there's so much news breaking in these last few days, and some people think, oh, well, maybe all this Russia collusion hoax stuff is coming out to be a distraction from the Epstein files that we aren't actually getting. So for more, let's go ahead and bring in our investigative reporter, Steve Baker. So Steve, let's get some of this controversy out of the way, because there is a lot of questions that are out there. Well, maybe this Russia hoax stuff, maybe the dates and the timing of the declassification is actually significant. Is that true?
Well, it has been rumored, and it has even been asserted by even some on the right. Some conservative pundits have said that this was nothing more than an attempt to once again distract from the PR bungle, the massive PR bungle that the Epstein story was that came out on Axios.
And by the way, I mean, the left is really pushing this narrative. I mean, the left publications, the legacy publications, they're all saying this is just a distraction. Right. Tulsi's trying to distract from the Epstein files. And
nothing could be further from the truth because, as you know, we talk to people inside the intelligence community that includes ODNI, it's the Office of the Director of the National Intelligence. And in our discussions with them, they have laid out to me and to Blaze News directly the process that this went through. And it was very clear that once they were assigned the duties of getting to the bottom of this and declassifying these documents and revealing it to America, that there was the same type of process almost that we go through when we have to get a new article approved legally.
When you love that process.
Yeah, I hate that process, but it's a long process. It takes time. It takes delays. And this document was prepared over a month ago, but it had to go through the process before they could present it to the public. So the timing, that's the thing that has to be understood. They had ODNI. And specifically, the Directors Initiative Group, or the DIG as they call it, of ODNI was the specially mandated group from Tulsi, from the president, to this group to get this information out. They had this document finished and prepared over a month ago, and once it cleared all the legal hurdles, they released it. Had nothing to do with timing whatsoever.
Steve, what's ironic about this is, am I wrong, or if they were really thinking about the sort of political situation, if anything, they would have delayed it, right? In other words, like this was not. If anything, they wouldn't want to distract. They wouldn't even want that claim.
And think about it. What's the one day of the week that you want to release something that you'd want ignored? That's Friday,
right?
And they released it on Friday. And in fact, kind of in a background sort of way with an individual at ODNI said, honestly, I wish, Tulsi would play the game a little bit better.
Yeah, Friday news dumps aren't really that popular. That's what you're trying to hide.
Maybe hold that till Monday to get a bigger splash out of it.
But this person meant that, right? Just because she don't care about politics. She just like does it. She's just doing her. That's why I love her.
And you can tell that right now.
Right. That was the point.
She's not playing the game.
That was the point being made in telling me that is that it's not an issue of politics. It's an issue of getting to the bottom of the truth of these particular mandates that the DIG at ODNI has to work on. And there's quite a few other ones coming up behind this.
Exactly. And Tulsi's talked about some of these in press conferences before, but there will be a lot more documents. And if this is any indication as to what we are going to be getting, get ready.
Right.
Yeah,
and there is a lot more coming.
Do we know anything about what else they're working on that she's been talking about?
Yeah, in terms of major topics, they are going to be working on the July 13th assassination attempt in Butler. They're going to be putting that under the microscope. There's going to be an investigation into January 6th, particularly as it relates to the intelligence failures and then the weaponization after January 6th that was utilizing, obviously, the intelligence to indict grandmothers and people that were, as I like to refer to them, as the accidental tourists that day. So there's a lot more, and then there's a couple other major topics that the DIG will be digging into.
All right, you mentioned J6. This is your specialty. You know all about it. And there is some actual breaking news for J6 once again, which we are happy because more people need to be covering it, and they will again soon with what you have.
Yeah, this is really big news today. And the big news is that there is now finally going to be a new select subcommittee to investigate into the remaining questions regarding January 6th. Now, this was a long time coming, and I can tell you from insider perspective, we know what took place. On the day after the inauguration, January 21st, the President of the United States, newly inaugurated, reelected,
Pardoning Steve Baker.
After the day after my case was dismissed with prejudice. I did not get a pardon, but it was dismissed with prejudice. And the day after, the president told Speaker Mike Johnson that he wanted a new committee to investigate the, as he likes to refer to it, the old unselect committee. That was Nancy Pelosi's investigative January 6th committee. He wanted a new committee. He wanted Barry Loudermilk to be the chairman. He wanted him to have full subpoena powers and get it started. Speaker Johnson said, "Yes, sir," on it. That was 6 months ago. They weren't too on it. There was a lot of obstructionism that took place between then and now. And it finally reached a point to where, God bless him, Congressman Loudermilk, he went to full, bulldog mode. And once he realized that he was not going to get what he needed from the Speaker, from Jim Jordan at House Judiciary, the committee chairman there, he no longer had to jump over Brian Stile, by the way, Representative Stile. Stile is the chairman of the House Administration Committee, which the old January 6th investigation subcommittee was working under that committee and was receiving just unbelievable obstructionism from Stile at the time. Unfortunately, that relationship is now over with. Stile did not renew that committee back when the new Congress formed.
So let me sum up here. So in the past, like all the work that our audience knows that you've done, when you were working with Congress, sometimes this was the administration committee, House Administration Committee. Underneath them, underneath Stiles,
right?
You had this committee that actually they're the ones who had the video that gave Steve and our team access to video and others throughout the media. And they were trying to find out the truth about what was going on. But what you're saying is they were obstructed. There was all kinds of stuff that some of which, we couldn't even relay to our audience, where there was just obstruction within, the House to Steve's work and other journalists' work that this committee was like housing the documents, supposedly trying to help us get to the truth of. And then Trump comes in and says, "I want this." And then there's still some shady obstruction that goes on. Maybe from Stiles, the same guy. And now all of a sudden you have the good guys, the patriots are in control, and there's going to be a new committee set up which should take care of all the problems in the past. Is that?
Yeah, sometimes the obstructionism was no more complicated than just not providing a room for a hearing. Thinking that they had space to do a hearing one day, and then the next day they find out they don't, or the funding wasn't there, or the staffing wasn't there, or the staffing was taken away. And then ultimately, once the new Congress was formed, January 3rd of this year, Stile just suspended the subcommittee altogether, and said, "I'm not reforming it." Fired the staff. They had to actually go to the Speaker and get permission to pay the guys out for 30 days, so that they weren't penniless.
So just the consequences of this were that even after Trump took over, and he cared about this stuff, he wanted this stuff to be taken care of. What you're saying is, how would you get access to the video during that time, for instance?
Well, see, this is what happened, is once the old subcommittee, the oversight committee under House Admin was suspended and it was done, then everyone lost access to the Capitol CCTV videos that we made hay out of, because we got more time. Blaze Media got more time in the Capitol CCTV viewing room looking at January 6 videos than any other news organization, any other individual journalist. We took whole teams down there sometimes. And so we were very active in that. And then I will tell you, there's still more to be harvested from that. And then we lost access for months. We've got that back now.
So what do we expect for Blaze Media, yourself, and others that are going to be covering this now that there is going to be another new select J6 committee?
Well, we have great anticipation, but we also have trepidation as well. It is still a subcommittee under judiciary, which means it's under Jordan. And we can report, as we have reported before through Blaze Media, that Jordan back in January of 23, when they first won the majority at that time, and he formed the weaponization subcommittee under judiciary, he said weaponization was not going to investigate January 6th. Jordan has a problem with January 6th, and he doesn't like it, but the president intervened himself this time. And we have that story in our story today that is on the Blaze.
Yeah, well, this is really important work. And the exciting thing, I think, for everyone out there is that potentially we are actually going to get to the bottom of a lot of the January 6th, the greatest questions about January 6th. We're not done with it. You're not done with it. And, thanks to Steve's good work here, that we have real hope, right, that in the future, we really are going to tell you the whole truth about January 6th.
I believe that we're going to have the opportunity to finally put into place some of those missing pieces of the puzzle. And that is because of not only the fact that the press, myself and others, are going to have access to that committee's assistance again, but also with the work that Tulsi is doing over at ODNI and with her group, the DIG. We're going to have a lot of help from both of those. And I can report to you, I don't think it's a secret, that those two entities are now going to be working together.
This is what we voted for. Absolutely. There's no blackpilling today. Look at what we're doing. We're talking about Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and the truth is coming out on the Russia collusion hoax. We're getting more J6 stuff that's actually going to be coming out of Congress because President Trump said so. There is no blackpilling today. Steve Baker, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Jill. Matt?
We look forward to everything that is about to come out of all of the J6 documents that Steve and others will be getting. Don't go away. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.